As we say, well, Molweni, bonjour, Tambo, Makadini, Salam Aleikum, Akwabo, welcome. And as we say in my language, Ekabo. You're all very, 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 very much welcome. So today's event is called The Future is Female. For those joining us for the first time, I don't know whether you've attended before, but the whole idea is for us to have this series of programs to take African and global women to the next level through increased collaboration in order to fast track the positioning of women at the center of sustainable development. So the aims and objectives of the Future is Women series are to highlight the importance of women and the roles we play in economic growth, for us to exchange information and best practices, especially on female leadership and key economic sectors, especially during this COVID season. And of course, to network and exchange opportunities. And we've had various people making various collaboration after this event. So please feel free to use the chat room. It's there for you to be interactive. Share your details, share what you're about. We want to hear from you, and I'll be reading some of it because yes, we might not be able to get everybody to talk at the same time. Let me see if Dimakatso Motai, do you still want to talk? Or if not, you help me switch off your raised hand. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, from Ora, first time here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ora Ataguba. Joining in from Nigeria. Ora, thank you. Chipo, founder and director of Mustard Seed Ministries and Anointed Blessing Private Limited. She is joining us from Zimbabwe. Welcome, sisters and brothers. We do have brothers in here, so even though, yes, the focus for us is mostly women, but we do have our Ifo men who normally support us for things like this. So without much further ado, I'm going to invite my dear sister just to share a few opening remarks. Welcome everybody officially as the president of the Leading Women of Africa group. So Madeline Nkunu, if you could unmute yourself, over to you.
Good afternoon and welcome. Honestly, it's always an honor to have Africa and the world coming together around one table. And as we always discuss, as Mama Kay said, this program has been started since COVID started. That's how we've been meeting, we've been encouraging one another. We've been trying to identify where are the gaps, where are the issues that we can discuss, issues of development, issues of women, and how could we bring women to be change agents in the development of this continent. This continent is still holding together, ladies, it's because of you. So we can pat ourselves in the shoulder that we are holding this continent. We are making the change that we can at our level. Maybe it is our home, maybe it is just our communities, maybe our city, maybe our countries, and some are making big impact, even in the business sector. So you are all welcome, and it's always really an honor. I cannot emphasize this more. It's always an honor. Many of you coming together, because most of the time when we discuss these issues, there's always a follow-up, there's always some impact that we are making. As much as we might not see it, we might have small impact or big impact, but we're definitely moving. We are moving. We are making an impact. We are making a change. We are contributing in the process of development of this continent. Well, welcome again. That's all I can say for now. But as Mama Kay said, I think the program is just for me to introduce this wonderful program that we are putting together, which is the Female Founders Fund and Mentorship Program. So what is the background of this program? We actually know that over 58% of women are on the continent are involved in some kind of entrepreneurship. either self-employed or a small business. They are doing something. They're not just folding their hands. They are trying to make a change, to put food on a table for their children, to send their children to school, and to just provide for their children. However, the research is showing that as much as women are putting so much effort into, trying to make change, business-wise, the profits are still low. That is actually according to the recent World Bank report, is showing that as much as 58% of women are involved in self-employed space. However, the profit remains low. There's also another consequences. There's so many, when you go to Google and read research out there, there's so many, basically impact of what women are going through. The second one is actually the low rate of survival. So it's also showing that, the research are also showing that as much as women are putting so much effort, involving their energies, their little resources, but the survival rate is very low. So many businesses start today, tomorrow it closes, especially now during COVID. During COVID, we cannot even try to go back there. It's like 2 years that for me and many of us, we just wish those 2 years never existed, because we've lost so much. Many have lost their jobs, many have lost their livelihoods, many have lost their small entrepreneurship that they were doing, many have lost loved ones. So we really don't want even to remember the hurt, the pain that COVID have brought. And just talking about these two challenges that women are facing in entrepreneurship in Africa, being the low profit and the low rate of survival, the research is showing that there are many, contributing factors. But for now, for this particular program, we're focusing only on the two contributing factors, which are the first one being limited resources and lack of mentorship. That's one of, or two of the many of the challenges that ladies are facing. Hence, as leading women of Africa, we fought to put program together. This is, ladies, for everyone that is out there, men, women, this is purely for business. This is purely for those women that have ideas, that want to grow their entrepreneurship, that want to really create jobs. As we know, the unemployment in Africa is so high, and even COVID contributing, more and more to that. And as we know, government cannot produce jobs for everyone. Even corporate can only absorb so much, So the rest of us, we actually need to create something. We need to create our own job. Okay, and so this program is actually, how do we create a pool of investors and other successful female founders that have made it, that have a story to tell, like we're gonna hear today, other investors, corporate companies. How can we create that pool? And what are we going to do with that pool? Is actually to see how can we support serious startup women entrepreneurs, that maybe they have good ideas. Maybe they've started their ideas, however, they lack resources and that support. And the second point is that if we can create this group of women and investors and corporates and individuals and just everyone that want to make a change in this continent, it's just so we can provide support and resources and mentorship for these passionate women that want to contribute in creating jobs and contributing in the process of development of either their country or our continent. Now, let's talk about our model. For mentors and investors who can participate. We are looking for funders. We are looking for donors. We are looking for corporate companies, whether part of your CSI or part of your enterprise development program. Please, please, join us, join this program. We are looking for individuals, whether you are lenders or you just want to support, as a mentor, please. We actually need you. How can you participate? Now, let me explain a little bit our model. So we will be advocating, we are already advocating, everyone, and we have actually a list of people that are already shown interest. What we say, just put aside, pledge an amount that you can spend on women per year. You don't have to give away that amount. Leading women don't want to manage funds. We are not a fund manager, but we just want to know that you have earmarked maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000 for the year that you say that this will be for women founders on the continent, right? Also, you can pledge services. Maybe you are an accounting firm, maybe you are a legal firm, maybe you are any sector, basically. You can also say, what, I can offer pro bono services to a group of women, but just give us a value of that pro bono services, where you can say, leading woman, I can actually volunteer, I can offer free services to maybe 100 women entrepreneurs, and it will be valued at so much, okay? The third way you could participate, most corporate companies, in your offices, you have refurbished computers, you have printers that you don't use anymore, but they are still working. They could be refurbished. You have office desks, chairs that, maybe you replace your office. We just want you to put that aside, okay? And say that, okay, maybe there is a small female founder that is starting a business and he just need a comfortable chair and a comfortable desk to work from, right? So once you have that, please be in touch with us, and that's basically how let me just go back there. So you will be in touch with us, and we can then engage. How do we start the recruitment of matching? Because if you have fund that you earmarked for a female founder or female founders, you earmark, you will just tell us, I earmark $5,000 that I would like to support female founders with. And let me just clarify here, we're not looking for handouts. It could be a loan, but because female founders, small businesses, they cannot access loan from the bank or for any financial institution. But if you, as a supporter, as an investor, as a company, as a corporate, as an individual, you can say that I'll put that amount aside. It will be either, if you want to give it as a grant, right, that's welcome. But merely, this is a business fund that we are creating. So you can offer a loan, but we know that at least the interest rate is not going to be as high as what the financial, the formal financial institutions are offering. So basically, that is the model. As I'm talking and as the event will be going on, please start thinking on how we could participate, because we will then share a link if you want to be part of the pool of investors and mentors. We'll send you a link where you could submit details. Now, in terms of investee and mentee, how can you participate? So who can participate, first of all? We will be looking for female startups, female inventors or innovators. You have ideas, or maybe a small SMME, you have started, you're looking for growth, or you have a project that is looking for funding. Obviously, as you would, for entrepreneurs that are here, as you will hear, it's not that we do have funds, we're still looking looking for supporters, you know, but if you have a small project that maybe you just require like a 10,000 Rand or, you know, $1,000, you never know, we can still support. But that once we have actually built our pool together. And how can you participate? Basically, you can start preparing your business case. You know, we need to be professional. There's no bank who will give you money just for, you know, out of the word of mouth. You need to actually present something, a business case, prepare all the required documentation. And if you are SMME, we will require all the, you know, all the legal documents, and prepare yourself for an interview, because there will be a process whereby, you know, we're gonna interview you, you know, a team of experts will interview you to ensure that, yes, you have a legit business, you are, you know, you can definitely grow this business, because the funders or the investors that will invest in you, you know, they don't want to throw their money. They want to make sure that you are actually going to make impact. It's some kind of impact fund. What will be the process? So for investors and mentors, we have started a call, you know, for you to basically join the pool of investors and mentors. You know, you submit your basically application or your interest that you want to be part of this. And then what we will do after we've finished the process, we will match you, you know, with the relevant mentee or investee that will basically benefit from what you have to offer. And remember, as a mentor or as an investor, you can choose. When we send the form, you will choose the full application form or interest form. You will choose, you know, what sector you want to support, what geographical space you want to support, you know, up to how much you want to support, or what you want to support with. That will allow us then to do the matching. Okay, so when we now do the call for application for mentee and mentors, okay, they will submit the application, we will conduct a due diligence, and we will interview them. We'll make sure that all the paperwork are in place, and then we can do the matching. So for investors and mentors, like I said earlier on, you are not giving any, LWA is not a fund manager, so we will not manage the fund. You will manage the fund. However, we will, the way the relationship we will do that, we'll be working with you to know how much exactly you're investing, how much are you able or willing to invest in, you know, in women entrepreneurs. So we will be doing that matchmaking and all that. So that's basically what we'll be doing. Then on a regular basis, there will be a coaching for mentees and investees. So there will be regular meetings just to make sure that they are, you know, they are following the process, because the investors and the mentors, they want to make sure that there is impact. So our role will be to make sure that, you know, we can quantify that impact. So there will be a regular monitoring and evaluation process. Oh, well, so that's it. So that's basically the program, Mama Kay. And if there is any question, maybe it will be during the Q&A session. I will be able to take questions from mentors, from and investors. But ladies, men, companies, corporates, donors, please, let's make this a success. Thank you so much, and over to you, Mama Kay.
Thank you very much for that detailed views and information on the initiative, the launch of the Leading Women's Founders Fund and Mentorship Program. So now, without much further ado, let me invite Dr. Divine, our dear sister. She's a founder and the MD of Securico in Zimbabwe. Dr. Divine, wow. You are most welcome. If you unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much, Mama Kay. And perhaps it's not always good to start with an apology, but as some of you who might not know, who might know me, my voice is not the normal voice, it's hoarse because I came down with a few days ago, and I'm still recovering from it. So I'm coughing a bit. So you'll find that at some stage, that might actually happen during this conversation. Indeed, thank you very much for that introduction. And I like it when you say, at such a young age, she's achieved. And I'm saying to myself, my goodness, do I look that young?
Yes, you do. Young. Yes, you do.
I'm not that young, but at least thank you for that.
I know, but still, age is in the mind. So, Dr. Divine, thank you, and pity to hear you've got the cold, and we will be fine, when you have the 1 or 2 coughs in between, so not a problem, and I know you're a very, very busy person. So yes, a lot you have achieved, the role model, somebody keen on pushing women and doing a lot of things for women. Tell us, how did you start? How did you start, with this? Maybe even before, let me go to how you started. Tell us about yourself. Who is Dr. Divine, actually? Let me ask about you before I go on to how you started.
No, I think, in a few words, I always say first and foremost, I think I'm a family person. I'm very much family means everything to me. So that's the first thing that I always talk about. And then, of course, I'm an entrepreneur. What you've just read shows that I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker, like I'm speaking here. I get to speak in a lot of fora, and I enjoy it because I think there's posterity to share a story of some level of success with others. Here and there, some people might be able to catch the cold and also get to some level of success. I'm an author, I'm writing, so very soon you'll see I'll be publishing. I'm a philanthropist. I do quite a lot of work in supporting with the causes, in particular education for girls from disadvantaged backgrounds. So that's me. That's Divine.
Right. Wow, you still have time to do philanthropy work. Wow, kudos to you, ma'am. Well done for what you're doing and supporting education for girls, which is really, really, really important. So now let me take you in terms of how your entrepreneurial journey started. How did it start? And why the security sector? Or did you do other things before that?
Right, Mama Kay, I think, entrepreneur and my entrepreneurial journey started way back, when I was growing up. I come from a background of my parents were business people. So I understood, but I think I have often said, even if my parents were not business people, I think I would have just really gone this route. So I started my journey when I was in work. I would start from when I was working out, buy clothes from factories and sell them at the workplace. I also give to my friends who would work in different companies and sell. And so that is an entrepreneurial journey that I worked until I saw an opportunity in the security sector. You ask, why the security sector? I saw an opportunity because there was a gap that I noted, precisely in the sense that at the time I started this security company, I had noted that the quality of service that the peers or the service providers then were giving was not. I was also a consumer of the service. I was not happy. And as an entrepreneur, you're always seeing opportunities. I'm sure all of us ladies who are entrepreneurs, we are seeing opportunities every day. So I saw this opportunity. I said, well, I think this is an opportunity for me worth trying. I had started farming. The farming that you're talking about, I had started that. At the time, it was not doing so well because in farming, you need deep pockets. So I then said, let me start the security business. And from my kitchen table, I just started putting the plan together. And I then said, well, let me start. I got a contract or 2 contracts from people that I knew. I bought uniforms. I was working I graduated from my kitchen table into my servants' quarters. And I employed 1, 2 people, employed 4 people. I grew organically. And before you know it, we are employing 60 people. Before you know it, we are already on 300. We had to move from my house. Before we know it, we are on 600, and before you know it, the history, the rest is history. Well, I think the major thing for the phenomenal growth that we enjoyed was the fact that I went into that particular industry fully aware of the needs of the customer, of the client. So for me, it was about creating the value of what that market was looking for. And I delivered on that value. I made no compromises at all. So I delivered on the value. And that value is what got us to where we are today. The team and I got here because we created the necessary values. When you talk about having gone for ISO certification, it was unheard of for a security company to want ISO certification. What for? A lot of people ask me those questions when we're doing it. It was obviously making that significant change in terms of how the service was going to be delivered. So that's what we did.
Right. Wow. So which year? I didn't get when you started. So which year did you start from your kitchen table before it grew into what it is now? Which year did you start the business?
It was 1999.
1999. So, ma'am, wow. And you've grown the business to such a business, in terms of providing, employment and creation, and what you said, they're creating value and delivering on value. So for you, let me start first with, what were some of the challenges that you've had to go through as a woman in this particular industry? And, not even in business, a woman in business, what are some of the challenges, you face? Just share one or two and how you manage to overcome them.
Well, I think, when we talk about challenges in an economy like Zimbabwe, and I'm sure, more challenges are even when you go into first world economies, they have got challenges. For any startup has got challenges. And challenge that you face is, number one, you need capital. You don't have much capital. Number two, you need the market. You need to sell your product or a service to somebody, and you're starting up. No one has got confidence in that service. No one in your service, because you are just a startup. You need money because you are on a growth path. So those are the challenges that I face, and I want to believe it's just not unique to me as a woman, and I think it's across the board. So it is about growing with the necessary the speed that you are able to grow at. I think today's entrepreneur, particularly the young people that I coach and talk to, they want to wake up and have a beautiful office. They want to wake up and have a big car out there. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. You need to, I always say, if you see a man at the top of a mountain, he did just not wake up. He did not fall from nowhere. He climbed that mountain. In that mountain, he climbed it slowly but surely. And when you're climbing a mountain, you're going like this, you're going like that. It's not a straight path like that. So you need to have the patience. You need to understand that for you to learn a particular business, you need to do it slowly so that you can understand the business from the tips of your fingers. You don't want to grow it from birth immediately. That baby is running. You cannot have a business that is starting today. Tomorrow, all of a sudden, it's huge. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You need to grow it in a way that you are understanding the intricacies of that business. The A to Z of it, you need to understand. And it can only happen if you take it a step at a time. As they say, Rome was never built in a day. So you take it a step at a time. And that is how you need to have that patience. So we had to grow this business slowly and organically. I actually avoided borrowing money. I had to bootstrap to get money from a friend, from a relative. My husband was alive then. My husband died 2 years after my business started. I had to take money from his salary and so on, just to grow. So it was really bootstrapping. It was very easy then to understand, and then for me to be able to convince, because I'm doing it in a way that I'm learning the ropes in a way that by the time I get to the top of the mountain, I can shout and say, here I am, I can do this, I can do the other. And people will look and say, yes, you can do it. So that is how we did it.
Wow. So one of the lessons you've shared there, which is my next question to you, is, that patience, is needed. And I love the analogy you gave there, especially with young people sometimes who are in a rush. Everything in this world now is like, yes, we just want to get there. We want to get there quickly. So patience, like you said, there are different tones, into climbing a mountain. So what are some of the life lessons, for you that will benefit any of our young female founders and male founders that might be here or listening to us, today? What are some of the key life lessons apart from patience, that has helped you personally?
I think for me, number K is you need to chase for it. You need to go after a vision more than money. You get a vision, you forget about the money, then you easily get the money follow you. So you need to create value for the people that you are saying. If you've got a product, make it so well, make it so people cannot even refuse it. Even if they don't like you, they will like your product. That is one important aspect. Second thing is you need to have discipline. Once you are getting somewhere, money will start coming in, and you start thinking, okay, this is my money. It's not yet your money. As an entrepreneur, as a startup, it's not yet your money, it's the business money. You need to have that discipline to say, I'm not yet, if I'm really on the growth, if you're on a growth path, there's no way you can take money from your business and start wanting to spend on Gucci or on this or the other. You need then to say, I'm going to retain the profit that I've made this year back into the business, so that if I made 20%, my business is 120% in year 2. In year 3, my business, I've made 60%. My business is 180%. You retain, and as much as possible, you spend, you cut back on lifestyle luxuries. For a startup, that is what I know. This is where that's how I got here. I had to do that. So that is the lesson that I always tell young people. And build relationships. Build relationships. Relationships are so important. The power of relationships are so valuable for any business, because people do business with people they know and they trust. So it is important to build relationships, and it's important to there's a saying that I always stand by: do good or never tire in well doing. Is a verse in the Bible for those that read the Bible. Never tire in well doing, because in due course you shall reap if you fail not. So do good things to other people. By doing that, the payback time is going to come, because people will always remember, but this is a Mama K, why can't I buy a product because she has been so good? I saw her the other day donating to this school. So doing good is a way of building networks and relationships that will help you in your business.
Wow. That's a lot you said there. I can see the questions, and a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat room. Creating value, getting the vision first, and the money will follow. Doing good. Wow, there's a lot you've shared in there.
Financial discipline, I think you forgot that.
Financial discipline, yes, correct. Financial discipline, building relationship, which is what this is part of as well in terms of what we're doing here. You never know who you will meet here and how that relationship could develop. Cindy said, I am humbled by your journey. There's somebody else as well here. It's just been really positive. I'm looking for the questions, but we haven't finished the conversation yet. I still have a lot to ask you, but I know I'm trying to be careful because of your cold, like you said. So I don't want you to talk with too much, but I hope you have your water not too far from you there. So let me go now to this COVID-19 period, season for all of us.
Yeah.
How has that impacted your business and you as a person? Family, business-wise, your staff. How has that impacted you? Because some people have had positive and negative impacts in terms of COVID. I'm being honest here. So how's that impacted your business? And whether it's negative, how did you manage, to get through it? If it's positive, how can you encourage others who might be going through one challenge or the other, who might feel, wow, this COVID thing, there's no hope, this lockdown, the mental health, a lot of businesses have folded. It's been tough. It's been really tough. So how has it impacted your business, and how have you managed, or what advice would you give to anybody going through a challenge?
Yeah, Mama K, COVID obviously it's a negative impact on all our businesses. We can never run away from the fact that it is serious consequences in terms of what eventually would happen. But it has also changed our ways of doing business in a way that we never even thought we would be. Right now, this very conference, I think, would be maybe meeting in Cape Town where Medellin is, or I don't know wherever. But it has also taught us better ways of doing business. Yes, as a business, we were affected. Obviously, we had to quickly pivot and be able to ensure that as much as possible, our people were the least, employing more than 4,000. You don't want to start having a lot of them, dying because of COVID. You cannot have a business where you have got today, you've got one of your guys in Vic Falls is fallen sick, is dead tomorrow. Fortunately, we ensured that we quickly made serious awareness programs to ensure that people need to understand what this COVID was and how were they going to be able to prevent catching COVID. And even in the way that we transported people, we started having to transport people so that they don't get into public transport. There's so many things we had to implement immediately, and we did not even have to. We didn't waste time to do it because we knew the impact of people getting sick in huge numbers. When you employ so many people, you have a huge number of them falling sick and dying. You don't want that. So we had to go all the way and support people. And we ensured that anyone who then fell sick had to be given the necessary support. Fortunately, we have just started a clinic here, even at our workplace. We've started a clinic which is manned by a nurse doctor and so on and so forth. But that is some of the things that came out of COVID. Before COVID, we had not thought of this, but we did that, and we ensured that people were already on medical aid, but we ensured that they got the best attention. And the environment we also ensured some people who could work from home get to work from home, but most of our people could not work from home. They had to go because our presence is what we are paid for. So we had to obviously ensure that wherever we're working, some of our clients were also quite supportive. They provided the necessary tools, the necessary PPEs, and so on and so forth. So yes, we had to be nimble-footed to get out of it. And I can tell you, of the 4,000 people that we employed, we only, in the 2 years of COVID, we only had one death.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you for that. Let me allow your voice to rest a little bit. There's been so much happening in the chat room. I can't even keep up with all, how people have been working and, asking each other questions and so on and sharing their views. So thank you. I already have somebody. I need to point that out. And I like when somebody is brave like that. And I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot, Dr. Divine, but I already have Cleola Chulu. I'm not sure where Cleola is joining from. And Cleola is saying, would you take me on as a mentor? I am so inspired. I'm into mining and livestock farming. I don't want you to say yeah or nay now, because I know we don't want to put you on the spot, because there might be a lot of people, that would want that, because I'm even already, whether you like it or not, you're my mentor. Trust me. So we don't need to make it official, but you're my mentor. As from today, I'm adding you to my list of mentors, but mine is informal, so don't worry. It doesn't need anything. So there's a lot being said there, a lot of conversation there. If anybody wants to, we still have a few more discussions. Okay, Dr. Divine?
If I may, I just want to answer that issue on mentorship. We are already running mentorship programs in Zimbabwe for women. There is the one that we launched recently with the Zim Trades. She trades. So I've just seen one, we have just put a message there. She says she's in horticulture. And this particular one is focusing even on horticulture, because we have been talking to economies like Netherlands, where we want to be exporting. So that She Trades, the mentorship program, I'm part of it. it's already supporting people like the one who says I'm in horticulture, and even those that are not necessarily in horticulture. Yes, there's that mentorship. There's a few other mentorship programs going on in this country. Well, I'm also sure how, that for those that are in Zimbabwe, there are a number of mentorship programs that we are running, and certainly if they can.
So maybe we could share, have the details from you later if you don't remember some of them. Then we can share them.
I'll share the details with Madeleine, and then she can put them across.
All right, cool. Let me go through. I still have a few things I want to know and hear from you, but let me go into the chat room because, like we said, this is all about interactive session. Sarah is saying she's in Zimbabwe and she's in need of a mentor and investor to help her with boreholes in facing water challenges. She's given a number there. We've already heard from Dr. Divine. There's a lot of mentorship programs, so we would, because information as well is power. Because sometimes we don't know where to get information from, and that could be all just you need to know who and where. Marianne, we've got Marianne from Cape Chamber of Commerce, and she's in the chat room as well, saying if anybody wants to link up, good to have the Chamber of Commerce here. And there's a lot of amazing people here who are doing wonderful things already. And I'm just trying to see if there's any question anybody so far has. And if anybody wants to unmute themselves, if you just put your hand up, and then I can let you know and maybe let you talk, or if you just want to ask your question in the room, in the chat room, that would be great. Well, we've got people from everywhere: Nigeria, Tanzania, Mozambique, Gambia, Zambia, Malawi. Thank you all for joining. America. Thank you all for joining, wherever you're joining in from. So let me, while I'm waiting for more questions, in case I miss any, I'm just looking at more of mine. Yeah, okay. I'm glad to meet you. Mohammed is saying, thank you, and all women who do efforts to solve problems in Nigeria, in Africa. Correct. Thank you so much, Mohammed. It's good to know that we're all here together. He needs a partner for work in the area of mining in South Africa. So he's sharing his details. I'm trying to see. Okay, Cindy said, question from Cindy. How did your business withstand the currency shortages while other businesses in Zimbabwe were closing down?
Yes, obviously, the currency issue is the biggest elephant in the room for this economy. I'm sure the person is aware that we are on what is called multi-currency system. We are using multi-currency, meaning we are using the Zimbabwe dollar. We are also using the United States dollar. We are also even using the South African rand. So it really depends, what business you are doing. If obviously for us, we have got customers, some of our customers who are international organizations or embassies or companies that generate foreign currency, they do pay us in foreign currency. So for us, it has become not so difficult, because when we want to buy material, like when we buy vehicles, we do installations of security systems. When we buy our equipment for installations of security systems, we use the foreign currency that we generate ourselves, because we've got customers that pay us in Forex. For those that are not generating foreign currency in this country, there's an auction system which the central bank runs. I'm aware that obviously it's quite inundated with requests to a level where you apply today, you probably get it 2 months down the line. But we have been fortunate that our needs so far have been met by what we generate. We generate not that much foreign currency, but that much we generate is sufficient for us to buy our materials that we need to use foreign currency for. In particular, the security systems that we install. Right. And some of the, in fact, for security systems installations, if people want CCTVs and alarms and so on, we then ask them to pay in foreign currency as well, because then that's the only way we can continue being able to supply or to continue offering that particular offering.
Right. Wow, thank you for answering that question. I hope, Cindy, you're happy with that reply. They're managing and they're doing their bit to try and make sure they don't fall into whereby, yes, they end up with that shortages. So now let me now go back to you in terms of sharing your story, Dr. Divine. Who has influenced you most? Who has influenced you most in your life in terms of your career? I know you said earlier on both your parents were in business, but even if they didn't go in business, you would have gone into business anyway. So why were you that confident, that was the area you want to go to? Or did you have any particular influence or just something, you wanted to do? And what motivates you? What motivates you as a person?
Well, motivation, I think we are all motivated to do the best we can for our families and to live the best of our lives. I think that's the greatest motivator. That then the next thing, once you have fulfilled that, like the hierarchy of needs, the next thing is you also want to impact the world. So that is, you get to a level where you say, okay, I've gotten to a level where I've educated my kids. I've got enough food to eat. I can only drive one car. What can I do? Then you want to impact the world. You want also to support, to help others. And this is where I feel I'm really trying to play my part in. So that is the greatest motivator. I want to see, in particular, women do well. I want to see women scale up. I think it starts with the education of that young woman in the rural area, the one who is never ever seen a mouse of a computer. I want that girl to know that she can be one day in New York City and be working at the New York State Stock Exchange. That is the kind of motivation that I am on now. Hence, we started a library in where I grew up. I grew up in a rural area called Kutu. We have started libraries in that area. And we want girls, and we not just girls and boys in the rural communities to bridge that gap so that one day they can really collapse and say, I can be anywhere in this world. So that's what is motivating me now more than anything.
Very humbling. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is another amazing woman doing so much. She's on a mission currently through FIN to deliver $2 billion infrastructural investment to St. Lucia and other Caribbean countries. My dear sister, Mrs. Olayinka Fayomi Ekabo, welcome. So tell us life growing up. Where were you born and how was life growing up? Let us find out more about you now personally.
Thank you. Actually, my story is a bit departure from Dr. Divine's story and experience, and I really would admire our experience. And for me, I was born in Nigeria in a city called Jos, and it used to be called the California of Nigeria because of the weather and the kind of people that live there, However, I am one of those who got married early. I met my husband, and by 21, I was married. And at the age of 21, he took me to, he's a career diplomat, right? He's an ambassador. So he got posted to Brazil. And I just found myself at home as a housewife. He goes to work, I'm just at home. So you can imagine that situation. So every day I would look through, we were in Rio de Janeiro, and he was the one who went to open the mission. So he was the head of the consulate at the time. So every day I would look through the window, I just wonder, they said Brazil, the third world country, and I see everything is working well. What is making, why are we different? Why are we suffering in Nigeria? Why is there no light, no good roads? No, this is Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, everything was working. I looked at the houses, the buildings, and I said, wow, how many years have these buildings been standing? So I started to think and started to challenge people. Why don't you come and invest in Nigeria? I knew of Nigeria, not to think about Africa. Nigeria was the focus for me at that time. So I started to facilitate whoever was interested to listen to me and to see why can't Nigeria be like this and what can I do as my own single self. If I couldn't do anything as a housewife, because I was a housewife, right? But at least I could use my mouth to tell people, come and invest. So eventually, because the nature of the judge takes you around, from Brazil, we moved to China, right? So in China, I did the same, just talking and trying to improve myself by all means. I went to school to do ACCA. I tried to do so many things. So the lesson here for women is that regardless of where you find yourself, okay, make best use of the position where you can find yourself anywhere. I was a housewife. I made effort to change my story because I was classified as wife, housewife, okay? And when we moved to China, I was a housewife. I was in the house cooking food, and you should see us as wives of diplomats. When big personalities arrive from Nigeria, you have to do the cooking. Regardless that I went to the same university as my husband, he graduated 4 years before me. And in everybody's area sector, you can count us the best. We both had first degree, first class in our O level, you know how it is. So we will cook, and then we were at home, we were wives, we were only useful to cook in the kitchen. I told myself that I have to change my story, and I changed my story. And after, Brazil was like 40 years ago, 81, 82, and China was 83. And I went back to China 20 years after, that's 17 years after. And when I went back to China, I went as a CEO of myself, sitting in the room with the president and the executives and the Dangotes as myself with my company. And I looked at the women who were then housewives, and I saw them in the kitchen, cooking the food and preparing, bringing the food for us to eat. And I said to myself, wow, Yinka, this was you 17 years ago. I changed my story from kitchen to the boardroom, okay? So the lesson here for the women is that whatever and however you have found yourself, you can change your story. It may not be in one year, 1 week. It could take 20 years. It took me 20 years, but I was focused, I worked towards it. And I said, look, even though I worked for myself, it was tough. And the nature of my husband's job, we had to move from one country to the other. We lived virtually about 7 countries, right? But I created something that would be around what he was doing. So I was managing the home, managing the children, managing the job. And I was fortunate. By the time we moved to South Korea, at that time I'd marketed with my mouth. I was tired of marketing Nigeria so much. So I said, what am I going to do with it? I've been to China. They are not talking my language. I went to Brazil. They are speaking Portuguese. Now I'm in South Korea. What can I do? Okay, I'm going to do my newsletter in their language so I don't have to talk too much. So this was how I started the translation. And when I provided the newsletters in their language, they could read and they come to me. What can they do in Nigeria? What can they do in Nigeria? And unfortunately, at this time, the Minister of Trade and Investment of Nigeria, okay, Olayinka, she visited South Korea. And I had the opportunity, because my husband was heading the mission, to have dinner with her. And when she saw what I was doing, she told me, look, lady, I'm about to set up an agency to do what you are doing here, promoting investment to Africa, to Nigeria. So I got hired from South Korea to the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, and I became a pioneer management staff. And I stayed until I became a director. And today, I believe I will be the first director of finance and admin that will retire voluntarily, leaving behind 8 billion naira. That was not my focus. When I was leaving, friends and associates were begging me, please just wait, let me do this contract before you go, please. I said, no, I've completed my mission, I'm leaving. Then I went back to my primary assignment, that's promoting investment. When we lived in London, 2014, where the embassy also in London, I was mentored. That's why mentoring is very important. When I saw this program the leading women. I said, this is it. We need mentorship. We can't really do much without mentorship. It gives you education, knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot progress, right? If you, if I did it, when I went back to Nigeria to work, and my workplace, I was a little bit different. In many things I do, I was a little bit different. But people will think that, oh, maybe this woman is smart. No, it's not about being smart. It's about exposure and getting knowledge that you need. So for all of these, my trips, even today, last week I was in Lisbon. That makes 88 countries that I've visited, right? That I've been, 88 countries. So I haven't gone round. You learn a lot. If you go to a country, I mean, like Madeline you did your master's in which is this Slovakia? So when you go to a country for 2 days, it's more than many books that you can read. You learn a lot. When I was in South Korea, I saw and came across what is called the 3 Ds. You know 3 Ds? Death, difficult, and dangerous. Those were
I didn't know that one. No.
Those were the jobs that Nigerians and Africans were doing for the South Koreans.
Wow.
And they would keep them in containers. And these are educated people that Nigeria has trained. Africa has trained them because there are other people from other African countries. They do the 3D jobs, dirty, difficult, and dangerous. So I look at the imbalance. Why would my Nigerian people, women, because I was in South Korea, right? I read and write their language. The Nigerian women will come and spend thousands of dollars buying lace, imported, all those kind of things. And yet our children, the youth, were all working in the factory for them. This is not right. However, usually you want to make a difference, but you need the right position to make that difference. It saddened me so much that Africans will be used this way, and yet we have the resources. Without our resources, like they said, there will be no mobile phones today, because a very important part of mobile phone is the mineral is found in Africa. And the lesson again from this, because we go through different steps and different lessons for younger ladies to take advantage and listen to us and mentor us, even though I would be very much excited to be mentored by Dr. Divine.
We're a lot on the queue.
When you look at women, I like what she said when she said women should help women, okay? I had an experience with an associate of mine in London. This is a long time ago. We used to promote, we worked for Virgin Nigeria. When there was Virgin Nigeria, Virgin air flight. So they were going to launch it. So they asked us to launch it, and they gave me tickets. The plane would take you from London to Ghana to Lagos, South Africa, go around. So but I thought that I wouldn't be able to go. So I called this young lady. I gave her the ticket. I said, you can represent me, go and fly around. We're taking you around for 1 week. She started crying. I said, why are you crying? She was crying. Why are you crying? She told me that, look, the gift I'm giving her, if it was a man that was giving her, I should imagine how much she has to pay for that and how she has to pay for it. Do you see? So that always would remind me that women must first support the other woman before you think about the other gender. So this has been my story.
Wow, what a journey. I didn't want to stop you because I was just going with the flow, in terms of, just being inspired. Like you said, left Nigeria at a very born in Jos, left Nigeria at a very young age, went to Brazil, was an housewife in Brazil. I'm sure the language barrier there must have been very tough for you, but you didn't feel sorry for yourself. You were using your mouth, like you said, to sell Nigeria. Like, why are you people not investing there? And then South Korea, and speaking the language, reading, writing, being bold enough to write newsletter in the language. What an inspirational story as well. And what you've achieved, now where you're going to St. Lucia, you're going to Dubai, you're working with people to invest, not small money, but a lot of money in there. I know, yes, a lot of our women, by choice, they want to be housewives, but they're the ones who don't want to be, who want to have the opportunity and want to go out there. What would you say to somebody who, maybe a younger version of you now, who is just starting out, maybe a South African young 21-year-old Tandy or Sipo, who now has to follow our own husband to, I don't know, Australia? Let's go there. What would you advise that younger person, you know, in terms of what you know, and the person who has a degree would love to, what would you advise that person, you know?
Thank
if
you
I could
very
hear that from you, Mrs.
Yeah, thank you
Fayomi.
for that question. For the young ones now, they are at an advantage because at the time that we were young like them, I mean, 40 years ago, there was no proper internet. There was no technology, was not developed, okay? But today, the young ones don't waste time. They are all already busy online. They have jobs, they have 2, 3 jobs. I have my daughter's friend who is married to a diplomat. She was working for America while she was living in an African country. So today it's a great opportunity that the wives have. So they don't have to see themselves as housewives, and they don't have to see themselves as a lower being. Because you see, like one of the challenges that the women have in Africa is that right from when we were born, we were seen as the second class, even in the marriage life, right? Even when you have the same job with your husband, for example, if both of you are in the foreign service, when the wife is posted, then nobody goes anywhere. But when the husband is posted, the wife follows us. So I will advise the young lady who is joining the husband. It's a great job. The husband wants to have a career. I mean, it's great to be an ambassador. I've had the opportunity to eat with the Queen, with Prince Charles, and it's a great opportunity to meet all the Prince of Monaco and all of these kind of things, but it's a big payment for it. So for her, she's lucky. She has to be grateful to technology of today. She has to, first of all, embrace that technology knowledge, okay? Embrace it, understand the technology, and then use it to accomplish whatever she needs to accomplish online.
Right. Thank you for that. So, Madam Madeline, closing remark, if you could just help do that, and then we'll come back to me. Over to you, unmute yourself. Thank you, ma'am.
Right, I'm already unmuted. So let me first just say, really sincerely, thank you to Dr. D. And if I could take away something from what she has said, it's basically what RWA stands for, when she said that women are a huge force on this continent. We are upholding this continent. Thank you for just acknowledging that, and we cannot agree with you more than women. And actually we represent over 52% of the population of Africa. And considering what women are doing within their limited resources, within the so many challenges that they are going through, and we can only salute the women of Africa. And thank you really for acknowledging that. And plus all the other points that you have really inspired women entrepreneurs with, that, you know, you need to focus on your vision. First, focus on your vision, then money, you know, build. There's power in partnership, you know, be patient. You need to have financial discipline. You know, those are the skills that if we apply as, you know, as entrepreneurs following after your footprint, I think we will be successful. You know, furthermore, from Mrs. Fayomi, by the way, you know, you have been an inspiration to me over the years. You know, thank you so much. And what you have said that I really take away from you tonight, and I really hope that every single woman here can take away this, is that use your position to change your story. Don't allow anyone to write a story for you. Use wherever you are, whether it is kitchen table, whether it is housewife, whatever position you're in, you can use it to change your story. And one part of your story that inspired me, how you created the work-life balance. I think one time, I think a year or two ago, we had one conversation around work-life balance, because we find it's always complicated. How can women be at workplace, in a marketplace, and still raise raise a balanced family? So I think you have done it well, and I think maybe at some stage we can have a session on how did you balance that. Life is just so difficult, and now you're encouraging women to go there and change their stories. And we know some of the women have responsibility at home, they have children, they have families they have to look after. How do they balance that? And I think one thing that you say also that was important was mentorship. Mentorship is important. It provides education. It opens up doors, and you're really encouraging women not to accept to be that second-class citizen that we've been labeled to believe in. So you really encourage women that, what, we are all we are all producing, we are all contributing in the betterment of our families and our society. We don't need to feel as a second-class person. And I think this is for youth, when you encourage youth. And I think this applies actually to everyone. Use technology to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Today, the world is open. The digital economy is there for everyone. There's no reason why you could stay behind. And just your encouragement to say that, what, let's use technology. This applies to everyone, women now. It's just your moment is now. You can connect with the whole world just through technology and create partners. And yeah, no, thank you so much. You've been really support to leading women of Africa, and thank you for already signing up to be a mentor, an investor, a supporter for this program. So ladies, Mrs. Fayomi is already on board. We will be starting the process. And I think as a call to action to everyone, first I will start with those who think that they want to be mentors or investors, or you want to support women in one way or another. We'll be sharing a link now. Please submit your details. It's just a basic detail, so we know that you are interested. Then that will be followed up with a full comprehensive application form or interest form, because we just need to understand how do you want to support the women, what geographical space you want to support women, what do you want to support women with, because that will allow us to now start, the recruitment process and to do the matchmaking. Then from the investees and mentees side, as you can see, this is just a launch. I know already in the chat, there's so many needs that have been, have been already put there, so many requests. We need to be patient, as Dr. D suggested. Let's be patient. As soon as there is, we've built a pool of mentors and supporters and investors, we will definitely come back to you. But in the meantime, we will also share the link to those who have registered. We'll share the link so you can already submit your request, your need. Okay, we don't say that we'll be able to solve your needs now, but it's just good to already have a database of those who are in need and what do they need and all that, so that as the mentors come in or as the investors come in, we can do the matching you know, the matching process quite easily. And we can get in touch with you to see how you can prepare yourself, how to be ready, and to be investor ready, or to be mentor ready. There is a process that we will follow. So yes, and maybe last, this is still, I know it's not official yet, Mrs. Fayomi, I mean, the Fin women and leading women of Africa, potentially we will be in Zimbabwe. So Dr. D, you can wait for us. We will be there soon. We are building a partnership with Mama Auxilia Mnangagwa. So hopefully she will be hosting a big woman event. It's not going to be only women, it will be an investment conference that we're looking at hosting in Zim to try and showcase the numerous business opportunities that are in Zimbabwe. As you could hear from Mrs. Fayomi, you know, she built partnership with real investors. And this time, she is focusing on Zimbabwe, and we will be supporting her. We will be there with her. So Dr. D, we will definitely need your support when everything is confirmed, and we would like to meet you when we will be there. I know you've hosted me. I've been there, you've hosted me. I really got a treat from you and all that, but I would like again to come at your feet and learn from you face to face. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mama Kay.
Thank you, Madeline. So I like the call to action, all we're planning to do, but I have a question I need to ask. I know we've only got 4 minutes now, this always happens. Is there an age limit to benefit from this initiative, either for supporters, mentors, or mentees? I don't know if this was answered. The network was bad for the person from Zimbabwe, Sitabile from Lusaka. So is there an age limit? Madeline,
no, there will not be any age. There will not be any age limit as long as you are in business. And you know, all we can say is that this is not a charitable program. It is for women in business. So it's not to support, you know, community work. We would love to do that, but you know what? You can only, you know, what Chinese says, if you give me a fish, I'll eat one day, but if you teach me how to fish, you know, I will have for generations. So we are trying to build really women that can create jobs. You know, there are so many stories that is inspiring us. You know how many of our young people are dying in Mediterranean. Why? Because they're looking for green pastures in Europe, while in Africa, we could create jobs. And we know women can create jobs if they are given the opportunities, if they are given the resources, if they are given the tools for them to do that. Because it has been proven that if you give a woman something, she will go and feed her family. Okay, so that's basically our focus, you know. So yeah, so there will be no age limit. It will be you know, business, you know, real business. As women, we need to start thinking of doing real business.
Right. And I've got Alice as well. She said she thought her message got lost. And yeah, they can share their expertise for IT solutions. They can facilitate purchase and shipment of used IT devices. If need be, their technical team can refurbish in Zimbabwe. And then Angeline McCurry says she publishes a women entrepreneurship magazine and would like to feature women leading Africa, especially women on this panel and myself. And yeah, okay, so she runs Shekina Media. I'm sure we'll get in touch with you, or you'll get in touch with us. So wow, Blessing Akitunde, thank you for joining. Thank you to everybody. Lucy, I am new here, and thanks a lot for this. Not a founder, but I've been hunting for information on possibilities. You are in the right place. This is about creating more female founders in Africa, wherever you are. So you are in the right place. Okay, somebody is already saying yes. They will. What did the person say now? I just saw that come in. that they will buy from what we said about buying from the woman, take home. So we have a lot of things you have to take home with it. So thank you, Dr. Divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mrs. Fayomi. Let's start. So Madam Madeline, since whose birthday was 15? It was Ife Face Youth. Okay, so we have 15, 20th, 24th.
There's also second.
Oh, second. Who was second? I didn't see that. I missed that. Who was second? Whose birthday was second?
I think Alice.
Alice. Okay. Okay. So all the birthday people, now we're going to do what we call Ojoro in my language. Ojoro means we're cheating. So all the birthday people, unmute yourself just for a minute. And, you know, I just want you to say your name and what you're thankful for. Just quickly. Alice on the second, you can, whoever goes first. Ify, you can go. Blessing, you can go, whoever, but yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Blessing.
I'm Blessing Uche Tunde, and I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my family, my children, my husband, my friends, and my business. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, Blessing Uche Akitunde. We thank you and we thank you for life. Thank you. Who wants to go next? If you face you, I can see your video is on.
Yes, my video is on, Mama K. Happy birthday in advance and happy birthday, everybody. Yeah, may babies rock.
Yes, so what are you thankful for? Oh, yeah.
I'm grateful for, thankful for life, good health. Thankful for women in my lives, my mentors, people like you. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for my children, my husband, and everybody connected with me. I'm thankful for Face Youth, where God is taking us to, because we're futuristic. We're not looking back, we're looking forward. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be in this room with all of you. I'm thankful for all of you and growth. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Izzy. That's another lady. Madeline, we need to bring her back. She's doing so much. She's an engineer. She's doing so much in Scotland as well. She runs a lot of youth projects.
Hi,
so we
Madeline.
Need to bring her back.
Nice to see you again. Yeah.
Okay, let's see who else now. Alice. Is Alice there? Alice?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, we've got all the best. Okay, go on, Alice.
Thank you, ladies. This is wonderful. I'm grateful to be alive and to be a mother and to be a woman. I would never wish I was a man. I'm glad I'm a woman. And I'm thankful that I'm making an impact in my generation and I carry a vision and I know where I'm coming from. I always tell my children that if you are a god, you should man. So anybody who is a woman, you must have an identity and an impact from your life to your children. I don't believe in crying over what was not. The most important thing in life is where are you going? So I'm a proud May baby.
Proudly May baby, Alice. Where are you calling from? Where are you? Where are you, Alice? Where are you? Where are you based?
I was trying to unmute myself. I muted myself. Born Zimbabwean. Proud to be a Zimbabwean, but I'm based in the US. I'm in North Dakota.
Okay.
But I do work across quite a number of African countries.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So, Madam Madeline, I think it's you now.
Oh, is it me now? I think, yes, Mama Kia, you know my story. I'm just so grateful that in 2 weeks' time I'll be home.
A bit a long one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. And for me as well, I'm just grateful for the love of God over the people in my life. I'm grateful for family, for friends, and just love God dearly. Love God. So thank you all. Thank you all. It's been a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Love you all and take care till next time. This is Mama K and with the leading women of Africa, Madeline Nkunu. We thank you for joining us today for our May series, The Future is Given. Let's keep doing what we can to support each other as sisters, as mothers, as grandmothers, as aunties, and friends, even before anything, and as wives. whatever it is. Thank you all.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze uhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze.
Did you see Dr. Divine? Did you see Dr. Divine?
dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami. Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami